Welcome to the stream, the One Year Bible Stream, day 128 in a row. Oh man, day 128 in a row is May the 5th. Sorry it's a little late. I just finished work like maybe 15 minutes ago. But we're here. That's all that matters. We're here. We're on May the 7th. We should be, huh? Yeah, May the 7th, right? What's up, Mr. Call? What's up, Mr. Call? Welcome to the stream, Mr. Call. Your name's not basketball anymore, is Mr. Call. But today we're hopping into Samuel. I guess Ruth was pretty short. Dang, Ruth was pretty short, huh? Ruth was only a couple verses long. Seems like, yeah, Ruth was only a couple verses long. Today we're hopping into Samuel today. So we're starting Samuel today. Hey, what's up, Stellas? How you doing? How's your whole thing going right now? So we're reading from 1 Samuel 1:1 through 2 through verse 21. We're going to follow that up with John 5:1 through 23. We're following up John with Psalms 105:37 through 45, and then wrapping up tonight's read with Proverbs 14:28 through 29. Whoa. Oh, chat, also, just so you know, it's the 5th of May. That means it's Cinco de Drinko. All of my homies have been sending me see a shot, take a shots. All of my homies have been sending me see a shot, take a shots. But also, don't forget to double tap the screen if you want to like it. You know. Sorry, no offense to anybody who took that as offense. I'm just joking. But let's get into tonight's read. It is day 128 in a row of our 1 Year Bible read. And without further ado, 1 Samuel 1:1 through 2, going through verse 21. There was a man named Elkanah who lived in Ramah in the region of Zuph, in the hill country of Ephraim. He was the son of Jeropham, son of Elihu, son of Tohu, son of Zuph of Ephraim. Elkanah had 2 wives, Hannah and Peninnah. Peninnah had children, but Hannah did not. Each year, Elkanah would travel to Shiloh to worship and sacrifice to the Lord's heavens armies at the tabernacle. The priests of the Lord at the time were Skittles. Don't unlike and like back. Skittles should show up shortly. I know you want to chat. Each year, Elkanah would travel to Shiloh to worship and sacrifice to the Lord's heavens armies at the tabernacle. The priests of the Lord at the time were the 2 sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas. On the days that Elkanah presented his sacrifice, he would give portions of the meat to Peninnah and each of her children. And though he loved Hannah, he would only give her 1 choice portion because the Lord had given her no children. So Peninnah would taunt Hannah and make fun of her because the Lord had kept her from having children. Year after year, it was the same. Peninnah would taunt Hannah as they went to the tabernacle. Each time, Hannah would be reduced to tears and would not eat. Why are you crying, Hannah? Elkanah would ask. Why aren't you eating? Why be downhearted just because you have no children? You have me. Isn't it better than having 10 sons? Once after a sacrificial meal at Shiloh, Hannah got up and went to pray. Eli the priest was sitting at his customary place beside the entrance of the tabernacle. Hannah was in deep anguish, crying bitterly as she prayed to the Lord. And she made this vow. O Lord of heaven's armies, if you will look upon my sorrow and answer my prayer and give me a son, then I will give him back to you. He will be yours for his entire lifetime. And as a sign that he has been dedicated to the Lord, his hair will never be cut. As she was praying to the Lord, Eli watched her, seeing her lips moving, but hearing no sound. He thought she had been drinking. Must you come here drunk? He demanded. Throw away your wine. Oh, no, sir, she replied. I haven't been drinking wine or anything stronger, but I am very discouraged, and I was pouring out my heart to the Lord. Don't think I am a wicked woman, for I've been praying out of great anguish and sorrow. In that case, Eli said, go in peace. May the God of Israel grant the request you have asked of him. Oh, thank you, sir, she exclaimed. Then she went back and began to eat again, and she was no longer sad. The entire family got up early the next morning and went to worship the Lord once more. Then they returned home to Ramah. When Elkanah slept with Hannah, the Lord remembered her plea, and in due time she gave birth to a son, and she named him Samuel. For she said, I asked the Lord for him. The next year, Elkanah and his family went on another annual trip to offer a sacrifice to the Lord and to keep his vow. But Hannah did not go. She told her husband, "Wait until the boy is weaned. Then I will take him to the tabernacle and leave him there with the Lord permanently." "Whatever you think is best," Elkanah agreed. "Stay here for now, and may the Lord help you keep your promise." So she stayed home and nursed the boy until he was weaned. When the child was weaned, Hannah took him into the tabernacle in Shiloh. They brought along a 3-year-old bull for the sacrifice and a basket of flour and some wine. After sacrificing the bull, they brought the boy to Eli. "Sir, do you remember me?" Hannah asked. "I am the very woman who stood here several years ago praying to the Lord. I asked the Lord to give me this boy, and he has granted my request. Now I am giving him to the Lord, and he will belong to the Lord his whole life." And they worshiped the Lord there. Then Hannah prayed, "My heart rejoices in the Lord. The Lord has made me strong. Now I have an answer for my enemies. I rejoice because you rescued me. No one is holy like the Lord. There is no one besides you. There is no rock like our God. Stop acting so proud and haughty. Don't speak with such arrogance. For the Lord is a God who knows what you have done. He will judge your actions. The bow of the mighty is now broken, and those who stumble are now strong. Those who were well fed are now starving, and those who were starving are now full. The childless woman now has 7 children, and the woman with many children wastes away. The Lord gives both death and life. He brings some down to the grave, but raises others up. The Lord makes some poor and others rich. He brings some down and lifts others up. He lifts the poor from the dust and the needy from the garbage dump. He sets them among princes, places them in seats of honor. For all the earth is the Lord's, and he has set the world in order. He will protect his faithful ones, but the wicked will disappear in darkness. No one will succeed by strength alone. Those who fight against the Lord will be shattered. He thunders against them from heaven, and the Lord judges throughout the earth. He gives power to his king, but increases the strength of his anointed one. And as we continue, words gets high. Oops. It's not even funny. Then Elkanah returned home to Ramah without Samuel, and the boy served the Lord by assisting Eli the priest. Now the sons of Eli were scoundrels who had no respect for the Lord or for the duties as priest. Whenever anyone offered a sacrifice, Eli's sons would send over a servant with a 3-pronged fork. While the meat of the sacrificed animal was still boiling, the servant would stick the fork into the pot and demand that whatever it brought up be given to Eli's sons. All the Israelites who came to worship at Shiloh were treated this way. Sometimes the servant would come even before the animal's fat had been burned on the altar. He would demand the raw meat before it had been boiled so that it could be used for roasting. And the man's offering the sacrifice might reply, "Take as much as you want, but the fat must be burned first." Then the servant would demand, "No, give it to me now, or I'll take it by force." So the sin of these young men was very serious in the Lord's sight, for they treated the Lord's offerings with contempt. But Samuel, though he was only a boy, served the Lord. He wore a linen garment like that of a priest. Each year his mother made a small coat for him and brought it to him when she came with her husband for the sacrifice. Before they returned home, Eli would bless Elkanah and his wife and say, "May the Lord give you other children to take the place of this one she gave to the Lord." And the Lord blessed Hannah, and she conceived and gave birth to 3 sons and 2 daughters. Meanwhile, Samuel grew up in the presence of the Lord. And chat, that is the end of our read tonight from 1 Samuel 1:1-2, going through verse 21. I'm looking forward to see what else we learn about Samuel in the future, right? And now let's hop into John 5:1-23. So John goes like this. Afterward, Jesus returned to Jerusalem for one of the Jewish holidays, holy days. Inside the city, near the sheep gate, was the pool of Bethesda, with 5 covered porches. Crowds of sick people, blind, lame, or paralyzed, lay on the porches. One of the men lying there had been sick for 38 years. When Jesus saw him and knew he had been ill for a long time, he asked him, "Would you like to get well?" "I can't, sir," the sick man said, "for I have no one to put me in the pool when the water bubbles up. Someone else always gets there ahead of me." Jesus told him, "Stand up, pick up your mat, and walk." Instantly, the man was healed. He rolled up his sleeping mat and began walking. But this miracle happened on the Sabbath. So the Jewish leaders objected. They said to the man who was cured, "You can't work on the Sabbath. The law doesn't allow you to carry that sleeping mat." But he replied, "The man who healed me told me, 'Pick up your mat and walk.'" "Who said such a thing?" they demanded. The man didn't know, for Jesus had disappeared into the crowd. But afterward, Jesus found him in the temple and told him, "Now you are well, so stop sinning, or something even worse may happen to you." Then the man went and told the Jewish leaders that it was Jesus who had healed him. So the Jewish leaders began harassing Jesus for breaking the Sabbath rules. But Jesus replied, "My Father is always working, and so am I." So the Jewish leaders tried all the harder to find a way to kill him. For he not only broke the Sabbath, he called God his Father, thereby making himself equal with God. So Jesus explained, "I tell you the truth. The Son can do nothing by himself. He does only what he sees the Father doing. Whatever the Father does, the Son also does. For the Father loves the Son and shows him everything he is doing. In fact, the Father will show him how to do even greater works than healing this man. Then you will truly be astonished. For just as the Father gives life to those he raises from the dead, so the Son gives life to anyone he wants. In addition, the Father judges no one. Instead, he has given the Son absolute authority to judge, so that everyone will honor their Son, just as they honor the Father. Anyone who does not honor the Son is certainly not honoring the Father who sent him." Got to go by. Hey, you have a great one. Thank you for joining. And now, Psalms 105, 37 through 45. The Lord brought his people out of Egypt, loaded with silver and gold, and not one among the tribes of Israel even stumbled. Egypt was glad when they were gone, for they feared them greatly. The Lord spread a cloud above them as a covering, and gave them a great fire to light the darkness. They asked for meat, and he sent them quail. He satisfied their hunger with manna, bread from heaven. He split open a rock, and water gushed out, to form a river through the dry wasteland, for he remembered his sacred promise to his servant Abraham. So he brought his people out of Egypt with joy, his chosen ones with rejoicing. He gave his people the lands of pagan nations, and they harvested crops that others had planted. All this happened so they wouldn't follow his decrees. So they would follow his decrees and obey his instructions. Praise the Lord. And now Proverbs 14:28 through 29. A growing population is a king's glory. A prince without subjects has nothing. People with understanding control their anger, and a hot temper shows great foolishness. What am I reading? I'm reading the 1 Year Bible. We're on day 128 in a row. We're doing this for 365 days in a row. And right now, we just read from Proverbs 14:28 through 29. And welcome to the chat, Yusef. And now this part here is called, Do You Want Healing? Do you want, focus please, thank you very much. Do you want healing? Do you want healing? And it goes like this. That is what Jesus asked a man who had been sick for 38 years. Can you please something for me? Please, what's up, bro? The answer seems obvious. After all, he was lying by a healing pool. But we ought to consider the question. It's hard to change old habits, and some people are accustomed to being victims in a state of learned helplessness. If there is something hurt, broken, or sick in our lives, we need to ask why it remains a problem. Do we really want to be healed and transformed, or are we comfortable as we are? The Quran al-Fatih. Al-Fatiha. I'm not sure how to say that, so hopefully I'm not butchering it. Do you want me to look this up? Because I will. Screenshot. Screenshot. I'll look that up later. And chat, that was the end of today's 1 Year Bible read. I will look that up for sure. We're not done here yet. I'm going to turn off this camera really quickly, ask for clarity, wisdom, and discernment on today's read and today's word, and I'll be right back. So give me 1 second. right, chat, we're back. All right, I just finished and we're back. I just want to say one thing really quickly. Thank you goes a long way. So remember, you know, to say thank you, man. Remember to say thank you. Thank you goes a long way, so remember to say thank you. Okay, so chat, let's go over what we read today with the verses that we read about tonight, chat. So we read from 1 Samuel 1:1 through 2, going through verse 21. We followed that up with John 5:1 through 23. We followed up John with Psalms 105:37 through 45. And then we wrapped up the night's read with Proverbs 14:28 through 29. Ooh, and there we go. This Proverbs, you know what's something that's always that I love so much, right? Is the things that I am typically experiencing in my day-to-day life. We end up reading about in this One Year Bible read every single day, right? And this Proverbs perfectly goes over this because this is something I was talking about with God earlier, and then working on putting it into practice, right? And this is Proverbs 14:28 through 29. A growing population is a king's glory. A prince without subjects has nothing, and people with understanding control their anger. Here's a link to recite our book. Okay. And a hot temper shows great foolishness, right? And this, what I say that I was talking to God about this earlier, because a hot temper shows great foolishness, right? I remembered, well, not even I remember. God told me to remember to walk, that you can walk away, right? To remember that every situation does not require a response. You don't need to feed into everything, and it's okay to walk away, right? It's okay to walk away from a situation, right? You don't have to respond. You don't have to give your 2 cents. It's okay to walk away from a situation, right? And it wasn't really about people. It was really more so about myself and what I had been thinking about, right? And God was letting me know that it's okay to walk away from those thoughts. It's okay to move on and let those things go, right? So I just want to share that with y'all today, right? Because it came up in today's read in Proverbs 14:28 through 29. A hot temper shows great foolishness. And if you don't know how to walk away, then you get caught in all that stuff, right? So I just want to remind everybody, it's okay why I'm insisting. Aren't I curious why I'm insisting? Possibly. I'm a lot of people insist a lot of things, you know. So a lot of, and I'm sure that I'll enjoy whatever it is, but that's a different time, different place, you know. Right now I'm focused on, you know, spreading this word right here. And then I'll go give that one. I'll go give that a listen or give that a try. Is that a book or is it a video? Is it a book or a video? No problem. It's all good. I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you at all. Okay. And I want to come from here. It is a book. Okay. You know, I love books. You can't see my shelf. You can't see my shelf, but those are my books in multiple places over there. Oops. Those are my books over there. Some more books over here. All my collectibles too, but you know, my books. Recite 7 verses. Okay. Is it called the 7 verses, or is it just you just want me to recite 7 of the verses? Believe you never read something like this. Okay. Never read something like this. Okay. But is it called the 7 verses, or you just want me to recite just 7 random verses? Okay, but let's go over 1 Samuel 1:1 through 2, because as I was reading it stood out to me, and I want to take a moment to sit and be quiet for a second, as I go through this read real quick. As I go through this read real quick. 7, right? Okay. There we go. So here we go. So verse 3 from 1 Samuel. Stop acting so proud and haughty. Don't speak with such arrogance. For the Lord is a God who knows what you have done. He will judge your actions. And the bow of the mighty is now broken. And those who stumbled are now strong. Those who were well fed are now starving. And those who were starving are now full. The childless woman now has 7 children. And the woman with many children waste away. The Lord gives both death and life. He brings some down to the grave, but raises others up. The Lord makes some poor and others rich. He brings some down and lifts others up. He lifts the poor from the dust and the needy from the garbage dump. He sets them among princes, placing them in seats of honor. For all the earth is the Lord's, and he has set the world in order. He will protect his faithful ones, but the wicked will disappear in darkness. No one will succeed by strength alone, and those who fight against the Lord will be shattered. He thunders against them from heaven, and the Lord judges throughout the earth. He gives power to his king, and he increases the strength of his anointed one. But the main piece of there is stop acting so proud and haughty, and don't speak with such arrogance. And we want to go over this verse here. The childless woman now has 7 children, and the woman with many children waste away. And we went over that verse specifically, right? The opener. All praises for Allah, Lord of all worlds. Most merciful. Okay. The opener 1:1. Okay. So you want me to read the Quran? And I hope this doesn't come off as any type of disrespectful, because it's not. There's in no way my intention. But I believe all is one, right? I believe all is one. So I believe all the peoples, all the religions who have one God, one central God, all have the same, are talking about the same person, right? So if you get the point, then you get the point. You know, if you get the point, then you get the point. You get the point that you're supposed to love your neighbor, because the only way to love God is to love your neighbor. And you get the point to also follow God's decrees, right? And you also get the point that everything is love, and God is all love, right? God is everything. So I feel like if you get the point, you get the point, you know? I feel like people who don't get the point look around all over the place. But, because I've looked around all over the place before. So I can see, you know, why other people do that. I'm not saying that's what you do. I'm pretty sure you're very, what is it? What phrase am I looking for? What word am I looking for? Dedicated. There you go. Dedicated. Dedicated to your religion, right? There we go. But I believe everything is just one thing anyways. Everything is all just one, because we're all connected. And there's no way to try to understand that through a human perspective. We're just all connected because we're all one. Because there's only one who created everything, so we can only be all one, right? And then if you truly do what the only one who created us asks us to do, and it's only a couple of simple things, then you can really rejoice in that, and you live a free life to where you don't judge others, you don't judge yourself, because you don't have to judge yourself, because you're already living the right way. You know, you're living the right way, so you don't feel the need to do all that extra stuff. Yeah, I don't want to overspeak, to be completely honest. Do you think one God have son? One God? Do you think one God have son? I'm not gonna lie, I need you to type better sentences, but I don't know what you mean by that question. Everybody's God's children, and once you can claim to be God's child, then you can live in God's power. Because who created you if not God, to be completely honest? Not your parents. But let's keep reading. And I just wanted to go over to stop acting so proud and haughty. Don't speak with such arrogance. The childless woman now has 7 children, and the woman with many children wastes away. But I wanted to go over that verse from 1 Samuel because that one, the other woman, it wasn't Hannah. I don't remember. She had a funny name. Where's her name? Penina. There we go. Penina. Penina had a funny name. Jesus was a prophet. Yeah, for sure. Jesus, established the connection with the Father. He had, I'm assuming like a direct connection with the Father, right? Which allowed him to speak directly to God, and he only moved when God told him to move. He didn't move on his own accord. And that's kind of what happens when you establish that. You stop moving under your own devices and you start to move in the way of God. But let's get back to our read though. But Penina, right? Penina, I think I got it right for the first time this entire time I've been reading her name. Penina, right? She had children already, but she would get on Hannah's head, right, about her not having kids. She would be bragging over her every time they would go to the place. She would be like, "I got kids and you don't. I'm trying to make you feel bad," right? I'm trying to make you feel bad. I got kids and you don't. That's messed up, right? So at the time she was up, but if she only didn't decide to do that, and she decided to have love and care for her neighbor, right? She would have stayed up. Our belief is complete until we believe of all the prophets, Jesus, Isaac, Abraham, Moses, and until Adam. Why do you say until Adam? Why do you put periods until Adam? I'm really confused. Can you elaborate why you put the periods and then until Adam? Can you elaborate on that? But I'm gonna keep talking. Okay. But if Penina, I think I'm saying her name right, for finally, hopefully. But if Penina would have not done that, right, she would still be living in the grace of God, right? All the prophets before messengers were messengers of God, of course. How could they not be? That's blatantly obvious. That's blatantly obvious. But Penina, she would have still been in the graces of God, right? If she had not been trying to put Hannah down, right? So this is something to remember, right? When you're being blessed by God, right? Yusef, who is the one and who only judges? God. Facts. When you are up, right? And we'll just use up because that's just a slang word for being okay and be good, being blessed, right? Don't put other people down. Don't be feeling like you're better than everybody else because you're blessed right now. It can change if you start acting in that other manner, right? Being prideful, being haughty, being arrogant, right? So why do you as a Muslim believe that Jesus Christ is the one who is coming back to judge the dead and the living? Walk with patience. Okay. Do not argue in the chat. Do not argue in the chat. This is not this is not what we do here. This is a safe community where people can have varying opinions about things, and we can have discussions and conversations. Ain't that right, baby? Exactly. And we can't assume what everybody believes. Walk. You cannot assume what everybody believes, brother. That's not your place. That's absolutely not your place. It's also not your place to come here and kind of like throw around your judgments a bit. I can tell what that is. I can tell what that is without having to do anything about this. I didn't judge Buddy about him coming in here and saying whatever he had to say. Because that's not my place. So do not to place the obvious truth. But it's also not your place to judge. So make sure if you're going to be having a discussion with somebody, you're not obviously judging them. You know, you can have a discussion without throwing around your judgments. That is not your place. Now, let's continue our word, right? So Penina wouldn't have, if Penina wouldn't have put in all her arrogance, pride, right? Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. Steve Marks. What's up, Steve? Yeah. Yeah, definitely. But we as people gotta stop using that as a way to start arguments. We as people have to stop using that as a reason to start arguments with other people. That is not what I will allow in my chat. That is not what this is about at all whatsoever. Hey, baby. Hey, baby. Right? Ain't that right? Ain't that right, baby? Exactly. Exactly, huh? Right? Exactly. So be careful not to be acting like a Penina. Be careful not to be acting like a Penina. You know, be careful not to be acting like a Penina. You know, placing your pride, your arrogance, right, and telling somebody else about themselves when it's not your place. You know, be careful not to be acting like a Penina. And if you want me to tell you what a Penina is, Penina was gloating about having children when Hannah was barren, right? So then Penina ended up on the other side of the coin. She ended up barren herself while Hannah was blessed with children, right? While Hannah was blessed with children. So be careful of your pride and your arrogance when it comes to throwing around your judgments or your assumptions about other people. That is not your place. Now, the first thing that we talked about when we first read it, most of you in here are new right now. The first thing we talked about when we started this read was God said, love your neighbor. And if you can't love your neighbor, then you don't love God. So watch yourself. And Proverbs 14:28-29. A growing population is a king's glory. A prince without subjects has nothing. People to understand and control their anger, and a hot temper shows great foolishness. You know, if you don't have something to say that can add to the conversation, walk away. But if you want to have a discussion, then that's fine. I don't care who you're fighting for. I would not allow that in my chat. I don't care who you claim you're fighting for. Now let me ask you a question. See, y'all are fighting in here, bro. This is why wars happen. This is why we have these wars about these petty things we keep having all these wars about. Can you not fight over who is right? Can you decide to just walk away and allow each other to be whoever each other are? Can you just walk away? Can you just walk away? These are attacking questions. You're not asking questions. You ask questions like my little sisters when they're trying to fight each other. I'm not so dense that I can't see that. So that is the best way to read today's word. So Proverbs 14:28 through 29. A growing population is the king's glory. A prince without subjects has nothing, and people with understanding control their anger. A hot temper shows great foolishness. And we're going to read, do you want healing one more time? Do you want healing? That is what Jesus asked a man who had been sick for 38 years. That answer seems obvious. After all, he was lying by a healing pool. But we ought to consider the question. It's hard to change old habits, and some people are accustomed to being victims in a state of learned helplessness. If there is something hurt, broken, or sick in our lives, we need to ask why it remains a problem. Do we really want to be healed and transformed, or are we comfortable as we are? Am I a Christian? Of course I am. But that doesn't mean that means I'm going to shut out everybody else because of me. That's a crazy way to think. Or that I'm going to attack other people or blatantly antagonize other folks based on what they believe. You know, that is far from me and far out of my role as what I'm supposed to be doing here, bro. The truth is not harsh. The truth is love. So I don't know what you're talking about. The truth is everything is love. So if everything is love, that means the truth ain't harsh. The truth ain't harsh because the truth is love. The truth is love. So how is the truth harsh? If you want to have a conversation with somebody, and especially if it's this type of conversation, then your conversation needs to come from a place of love for your neighbor. Yeah, then what did they die spreading then? What did they die spreading? You clearly have not read the Bible, and you clearly didn't ask for clarity, wisdom, or discernment while you were reading. No, it is not. No, it is not, bruh. No, it is not. And you need to go back and reread the Bible. You need to go back and reread the Bible. Oh, man. The disciples died, the prophets died because they were spreading love. They spread love to the people, which would unblind them to the pain of this world. It would remove you from the pain of this world. It would keep you from the shackles of this world. That is why love is the truth. Come on now. No, brother, you are lost. And I'm sorry. And I hope you get better, to be completely honest. Also, forgive me for calling you lost, because that is also not my place. Yes, and what is the word of Christ, brother? You saying they try to spread pain to other people? Are you saying the word that they were spreading was pain? The word that they spread was pain, to live in pain. That's the word? That's the word, huh? To live in pain, that's the word? Come on now, man. Does that sound... Do you hear what you sound like? Yes, pain exists, but pain to come to love. You go through pain to come to love, to find out that you are love, and to spread that with your neighbors, to spread that with everyone around you. You go through pain to find love, to realize that you are love already. Then what are you talking about pain then? Then what are you talking about pain then? Yes, you experience pain. Yes, that is true. You experience pain, but it's not to spread more pain. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Come on now. That's the point. That's the point, though. That's the point. You're saying that they were spreading pain. That's what you said earlier. That's why I checked you on your sentences that you were using. That's why I checked you on the sentence, the phrasing. You phrased your sentences crazily incorrectly. You phrase your sentences crazily incorrectly. And why does it matter how Paul died? I don't care. That does not change anything. The message is the message, regardless. The message is the message regardless of who died, when they died, or what happened. The message is the message regardless. It doesn't change based on your point of view. Does not. Come on now. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You were extremely antagonistic. Walk with patience. Patience. Come on now. Where is your patience at? Where's your patience for your neighbor? Where's your love for your neighbor? Patience. Where's your love for your neighbor? Patience. Come on now. Your name is patience. Walk with patience. Where are you being patient at? Do you see that you're being a hypocrite? Do you see that you are being an open hypocrite right now? An open hypocrite. Do you see that you're being open? And the truth is, you're being an open hypocrite, an open, ignorant hypocrite. That's what you're being, an open, ignorant hypocrite. Come on now. Do you not see what you're doing? Do you not see yourself? Look in the mirror. Do you not see yourself? That's what you're doing. You're attacking your neighbor based on your opinion. You're attacking your neighbor. You came in my chat, attack somebody in my chat, your neighbor, based on your opinion. I did not tell you to put yourself down. I did not tell you to put yourself down. I did not tell you to put yourself down. I told you to look at yourself. I did not tell you to put yourself down. No one told you to put yourself down. I don't know where you've been at, who you've been talking to, or who tells you to think like that. Come on now. Are you spreading love? Are you spreading the word? Are you spreading the word, man? Are you? Look at yourself, man. Are you spreading the word, bruh? Are you spreading the word? Come on now. So are you being graceful? And are you spreading love? Answer my question. Are you being graceful? And are you spreading love? Answer my question. Since you keep beating around the bush. The bush on fire and you ain't got no fire extinguisher. You ain't got no water. You ain't got no towels. You ain't got nothing. Are you spreading love and grace? Is that what you're doing? Look at your actions. Are you spreading love and grace? Look at your own actions. Look at yourself before you look at anybody else. Are you spreading love and grace? Are you? Oh, man. It's okay, man. I said, are you spreading love and grace, man? Look at your actions. Are you spreading love and grace? Is that what you're spreading? Is that what you're spreading? Come on now. It's not a hard question to answer. Because you know the answer. He was not in here attacking your faith. He was asking me to read the Quran. He was just writing verses about the Quran. I said, okay, bud, I'll read. I'll read. Show. I'm not sure why Ed did that weird chat, but, and I said, okay, bro, I'll read. Because there's nothing wrong with me reading. That, as long as I'm not betraying God and changing my faith, and believing there are more than one God out here, then I'm not betraying God. I can read something without betraying God, right? Because I know where my faith lies at, right? So he was not in here attacking anything. He was just showing me something. Like show and tell when you're a kid. It's like show and tell when you're a kid, bro. He was just showing me something he thought was cool. He wanted me to read. I said, okay, I'll read it. It don't hurt me. It ain't gonna hurt me to read it. Bro, I've read this book when I was a kid. No, but that does not mean supporting sorcery. Come on, bro. Y'all come in here with all these judgments. Y'all are so judgmental. So judgmental. Do you guys not read the Bible? Does anybody not read? Do you guys not remember? Do you guys not remember any of this? About how you guys continue to judge other people and you know that's not your place? You know that's not your place? Do you not know that's not your place? Do you remember what God asked you to do? Love your neighbor. And the only way to love God is to love your neighbor. Come on now, bro. Yeah, that's what it says. That's what it says, Cody Merrill. Okay. I'll have to read and let's discuss that. I will turn off my camera and ask God first before I have any discussion on that. I'm not gonna lie. Because I'm gonna ask God for the words so that I may not speak out of turn. It's not my sin because God is fully aware of my things on my shelf. These are things from my childhood that I so enjoyed. You know? Things from my life that I so enjoyed. I don't idolize these things. These things are not on a pedestal. And this is not, and I repeat, this is not a shrine. You know? It's a shelf. These are not idols. These are trinkets. You too, Cody. Thank you for joining my chat, man. But you guys are super judgmental. I forgot how judgmental the community really is. Not my community, though. You randos. You randos. You guys are antagonistic. You guys are antagonistic and will go so far to prove your point. What did I say earlier, bro? You know, it's okay to walk away. And that's what I'm going to do now. I'm not debating no two religions. Everything is the same thing, bro. Let's just say we're our own chat. Everything's the same thing, bro. there is none of this stuff. All this other stuff is human made. They have no point. Anything human made is not really anything for real. You know, it's not really anything for real. All this other stuff is human made. The only truth is there is one God. God created all of us. God told us to love each other. And now, love each other. But y'all want to do all this other stuff. Y'all want to do all this other stuff all the time. Y'all always want to do all this other stuff all the time, bro. All the time, bro. When you can easily just respect somebody else. You know, it's easy. It's easy to respect, to give somebody else the respect that they deserve. You know, it's easy to do that. Extremely easy. Golly, it's a lot harder to like we are not the same thing. Then what are we? What are we? Because you're the same as a plant. You're the same as a blade of grass. You're the same as a piece of grass. You're the same as that trash you put in that trash can earlier. You're the same as this book on my desk. You're the same as this keyboard on my desk. You're the same as this shirt that I'm wearing on my body. You're the same as me, and I'm the same as you. There ain't nothing different. You just got different thoughts than me. There ain't nothing different about us at all. You just believe that you're different than me. And that doesn't make it true. And that doesn't make it true. You believe you're different than me, and that doesn't make it true. Or by the people of the religion. What are you talking about? Because I'm not doing that. I don't think you're talking to me, Yusef. I think you're talking to Walk. Excuse me. I loved it. Expose yourself. I'm just joking. I'm just joking, Walk. Oh, man. And go deep. I don't know who's talking to who here. I don't know who's talking to who here. But everybody needs to go sit in silence. I think everybody needs to sit in silence for a bit. I think everybody needs to just sit in silence for a bit. I think everybody's talking too much. I think I'm talking too much. Come here, baby. You come up. Hey, babe. Hey, big baby. You come up. Hey, big baby. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing, my baby? Yeah. I'm sorry for all the yelling and stuff. What's up, little baby? What are you doing? Oh. Thank you. Hey. Hey, big baby. Oh, the kisses. Oh, so many kisses. Oh my gosh, I love it. Oh man. I just don't like all the judgmental stuff, bro. I think it really gets under my skin. No one really lived in Islam with the true morals and respected the orders of God can say such a thing. Your prophet is dead, but somehow you believe Jesus Christ is alive and is in heaven. And he's the word of God and the spirit of God. Why is he so special? Even in the Quran, LOL. Golly. Can we not attack each other, bro? This is why we have wars. This is exactly why we have wars, bro. I'm just saying, bro. This is why we can't just be, in the same area together. Can y'all not see this? Can y'all not see that you guys are perpetuating a stereotype? Can you guys not see that you're perpetuating a stereotype about religious people? That you guys are all perpetuating the stereotype about religious people? Can you guys not see this? Can you guys not see this? You guys are perpetuating the stereotype about religious people. But you guys can't be in the same area together. You guys can be in the same area together, bro. Come on, bro. You should be able to be in a chat, you know, without coming at each other repeatedly, back and forth. And since this is not what my chat nor my stream is for, I'm not gonna keep streaming. Y'all can go on somebody else's chat and do that. But I'm gonna say what this word was about today, because this word stuck with me all day long. Because this word is as God told me about it, has been walking me through this all day today. It's been walking me through this all day today. So this is the word today. Proverbs 14:28 through 29. A growing population is a king's glory. A prince without subjects has nothing. So it's okay that y'all do this. It's fine. People understand and control their anger, and a hot temper shows great foolishness, right? So I want to remind everybody, especially the people in my chat today, because you showed up for a reason. You are telltale signs of the word today. It's okay. Everything happens for a reason, right? That it's okay to walk away. It's okay to walk away. You can remember that if you don't have nothing nice to say, then don't say it at all. You know? It's okay to walk away. And with that, chat, if you're new here in the channel, it's time for you to hear the outro for the first time. All right, baby, let's do it together. We all got that limitless core, baby. I appreciate you. I might even love you, but I'm for sure glad you woke up today. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for giving me the most valuable thing you could have gave me, which is you. I really appreciate you and everything you do. Peace. You have a great rest of your night, because I'm going to have a great rest of mine. See you next time on the 1 Year Bible Daily Read for day 129 in a row. We're doing this for 365 days, and if you want to join us as we learn and educate ourselves, then subscribe, turn on your post notifications, and peace.